Today we're going to be talking about the appraised value of a home versus the market value of a home. So let me define the two first. The market value of a home is a price that a buyer is willing to pay, and the appraised value is what a licensed third-party appraiser values the home at. So this is actually very important when you're looking at, selling or buying a home, because sometimes there can be a disconnect between the market value of what a buyer is willing to pay and what the appraiser values the house at. And that can actually go either way. It can be too high or too low. So let's talk about some of the examples that I've seen in the marketplace. So let's just say that a seller goes through and remodels their entire house, and they put in some really expensive materials. They put in this really amazing granite or quartz countertops, just high-end travertine flooring, really high-end appliances. But the problem is they used all the wrong colors. Even though the quartz or the granite was the highest quality material that you could buy, it was green. Yes, I'm going to use green so that it's not a desirable color in today's market, or let's say it's pink. Same thing, the travertine that they put in had an orange tint to it. So the appraiser is going to see the quality of those materials, and they're not going to change the value based on the colors. So they're going to give a high appraised value because they're good quality materials. However, a buyer is coming into the house and going, wow, I need to change all these granite countertops or quartz countertops. I need to change all this travertine. It's amazing quality, but I can't live with these colors. So the buyer is not going to be willing to pay, because now they have to go through all this work to rip this out and put in materials that they would actually like to enjoy to look at every day. So really the biggest disconnect is going to be if these are just really loud colors that no buyers in the marketplace want. So another option, a floor plan, could definitely be a big difference. One of the biggest discrepancies that I have seen is I've actually sold the same exact model of house in the same exact neighborhood. The only difference was there was one more bathroom. And there was a very important bathroom. So downstairs, a lot of people are looking for a downstairs bedroom. The one house just had a really large bedroom. The other house had a bedroom with a 3/4 bath in it, which means it had a shower. So, the two houses sold about $80,000 a price different, and both were honestly, that they were both beautiful homes. There was nothing different besides this one bathroom. Well, that value that an appraiser would value that bathroom at was, $7,500, maybe $10,000. But there was such a significant price differences because the buyers, all that were looking at buying the house, had plans for that downstairs bedroom. And that downstairs bedroom was going to be to put, an older parent in there, a teenager, a guest room, so that when people, come and stay at your home, the whole purpose of having the shower downstairs is so that they don't have to come upstairs. They can stay down, especially for like an older parent or something that's living with you. So this just created such a lower demand for the house that so few of buyers were willing to buy it, that we just had to keep doing price reductions on the house because the value just wasn't there to the buyers. So even though it would have appraised for $7,500 or $10,000 less, the market value was substantially lower to the buyers. Next would be location. There are very desirable locations and very not so desirable locations. And an appraiser doesn't take into consideration the location like a buyer does. So let me give you an example. One house sits on a cul-de-sac and the other house does not. Very big, that is very important to many buyers, but it doesn't change the value for an appraisal. Also, if a house backs to a busy street or a large commercial plaza like a Walmart, and all those semis are, doing their turns and dropping off packages, a lot of noise, or the street, there's a lot of busyness on the street. An appraiser is not going to lower the price because of that, because the house itself, they're not taking that into consideration. It's still the appraised value, to where a buyer is going, I don't really want to live with that in my backyard. So if I'm going to buy that house versus the one over here in the middle of the subdivision, I'm actually going to need to buy this house at a discount to make me feel comfortable about, dealing with that street noise or the street lights or those semis in my backyard. So all that comes into play. So homes backing to busy streets tend to sell for less money than the identical home on the opposite side of the street that is not backing to something like that. Another consideration is the neighbors. So if you have a beautiful house, but your neighbors have a bunch of cars parked in their front yard, or a lot of weeds, or their house is just in disarray, or if you have a couple of neighbors like that, that's not going to be as attractive to buyers. So an appraiser is not going to take that into consideration. They're still just going to value the house based on what the house is valued at. But when it comes to the buyer perspective, they're serious. When they're coming to look at the house, they go, wow, look at their landscaping. They got tons of weeds, or look at it, they got 9 cars parked out there. And that's not really desirable. So many buyers decide not to buy that house because of that. It loses the demand, so it sits on the market. And then what happens from there is you either have to do price reductions, or buyers see it sit on the market for a while and it actually just has to sell for less because they end up putting in a low offer to see if they can get it. So I hope that helps you better understand the differences between the market value and the appraised value. And a great agent that has a lot of experience, when they come out to meet with you to price the home originally, with their experience, they're going to know all of this information so they can speak to you logically and show you the data so that you can actually start off with the correct selling price so that your home doesn't sit on the market for a long time and get stale. Thanks for watching. It's Tom with the Huser team.